G.O.P boxed in on Iran war as Trump sidelines Congress. It's a moment of real tension. President Trump has once again ordered American forces back into the Middle East after a last-minute ceasefire collapse, weeks after Congress, both chambers, rebuked him for waging war with Iran without their authorization. The administration's request for $87.6 billion in supplemental funding, of which $67.1 billion would be pure extra military spending, has thrust the GOP into a political quagmire, especially with midterms looming. The scene in Washington is wide open. Speaker Mike Johnson tells CNN's Manu Raju that the job of ensuring the nation's forces are fully equipped is a congressional responsibility. Yet Johnson's response to a question about war authorization is flat: "We're going to supply the needs for America's national security." That line implies Congress is willing to drop its fight over whether the war is authorized and focus solely on the purse. It is the latest example of Republicans ceding power to the executive, bypassing a debate over conduct, strategy, and public oversight. But just weeks before, the bipartisan majorities in House and Senate voted to reassert that war powers belong in Congress. They gave the president a slap on the wrist after he said this conflict would last weeks. It now appears it's months, perhaps longer. Democrats who spent months pushing for that reassertion have taken a harder line. They have outright refused to consider the annual defense policy bill or any back-of-the-dead military funding because they see it as disallowed war spending without the necessary input from Congress. Senator Chuck Schumer said last week, "If the Republicans want our votes, they should provide a credible strategy. How long it lasts, where it ends, what our goals are. Very simple. They haven't." And Senator Jack Reed, the top Democratic voice on the Armed Services Committee, voted with his party to block the defense policy measure, a move that contradicted his prior support of that bill while it was in committee. The stakes go beyond the immediate dispute about authorizing war. Republicans now face a worst-case political scenario. They are being asked to vote to fund an unpopular war over which they had limited oversight and never approved on any legislative tray line. The timing, midterms near and a party majority in hand, is a political poison. Will the party line that justifies the war hold when it is challenged in a pressure-filled environment? It's exactly the sort of gamble that could redefine the GOP's image to voters. The administration's $87.6 billion request is not a small ask. It includes billions for missile defense build UPS, new pilots and new armor, but it also includes extra military spending for the ongoing conflict, a request that Democrats warn would amount to illegal war funding. They argue that the Constitution-style war powers, even in a modern context, cannot be sidestepped by sole reliance on the purse power. The conflict and the political drama are unfolding together. The stops and starts in Middle East hostilities, the ceasefire collapse, the waves of congressional outcry, all feed one another. A decision made by the president to redeploy troops without prior congressional approval drags the entire nation through a constitutional debate. The result hangs on who achieves the balance. A back-of-the-deck fund could mean that soldiers are supported but that oversight is absent, while a refusal to fund forces could mean the president's contingency plan collapses. The narrative is still being written. It could end with Congress imposing a final verdict on the war's legitimacy, or it could see a sloppy blurring of the lines that have defined power separation into a rightward blur. For the next few weeks, the focus remains on the GOP's choice. Will the party side with the president's straight path to funding, or will it, like the senators before, pursue a complete pause until a robust plan is presented? Thank you for listening. I'll keep you posted as this story unfolds. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.